Your biggest currency sometimes is the people around you. They might not give you physical cash, but they can pull plugs for you.
Yeah.
If you maintain this level of consistency, it'll be so good. My growth in design is exponential, very fast. So I got there, got so good, I started working. 6 months down the line, I got into this venture agency I told you about in San Francisco, and I think that changed my life. Leadership is 100% not about your technical skills. It's more around your ability to negotiate. It's more around your ability to carry people along. It's also more around the ability to create results. When you begin to look at growth from a leadership point, you have to be super interested with data, because data is your own ammo. I try to be in every conversation. Stakeholders are having conversations with me, I'm talking. But Malik chiseled my head as an individual. He taught me how to think, talk to people, how to be in a meeting and speak, and everybody hears me. What experiential marketing did for me is it made me learn corporate world the hard way. Taught me how to write proposals, how to negotiate, how to trade off as a salesperson, as a marketing person. So I learned all of these things. So coming into design, the only thing I needed to learn in design was design.
Is there any particular maybe mistake that you want to advise a very young designer just starting out in their career to avoid?
When you start making some money, don't get carried away.
Don't blow it.
No, God. I made that mistake, and I don't think I want to ever make it again. Another thing is, do not stop.
Manuel, your career journey has been like very interesting, right? From what you studied in school to the different industries that you've played in before, like where you are currently in the fintech space. But before all of that, before the leadership roles, before the titles, before the certifications, I'd love to know what growing up was like for you.
Okay, cool. Growing up for me was amazing. A young child in the city of Ajegunle, with dreams to be great. I think one of those dreams was to become an aeronautic engineer as a young chap, and I actively was ringing it in my father's ear that I want to be an aeronautic engineer. But I could tell that the environment where I was didn't give me that much to play with in becoming that kind of person. Growing up was fun. I had parents who were super interested in my growth or in our growth as children. You know, my mom would take us to school, go to work. She enrolled us in about 3 different lessons. So you go to school from 7 to 2, 2 to 3 lesson, 3 to 6 lesson,
Another lesson.
6 to 7, another lesson since she's back.
Whoa.
So we're forced to love academics, even though I didn't thrive so well academically than my siblings. But growing up was amazing. I think one of the things that I also could remember as a child was the fact that I was adventurous. I wanted to try too many things. You know, I wanted to play with sand. I wanted to build car toys. I wanted to roll the tires. I wanted to run as an athlete. So I was literally an adventurous person. I was inquisitive also, because I was asking questions from my mom, my dad. Why is this way? Why is that way? You know, my mom would always tell me that, just shut up sometimes.
Let us rest.
Let's rest in this house. Yeah, but you know, that was it. That was it for me.
I've also heard of different, maybe some celebrities and other people that lived in Ajegunle, maybe for the most part of their life or some certain years of their life. And there are people that have like been able to move out of that space and like go on to do something for them. So I'd love to know what hand or what category of Ajegunle were you or your family? What were the exposure like? And how did you try to take yourself out of that place, both mentally, in terms of what you can achieve with your life?
Yeah, so when people hear Ajegunle, people ascribe Ajegunle to that one Ajegunle that people hear, the one in Apapa. But there are different Ajegunles. There's Ajegunle Apapa, there's Ajegunle, the one before Agric. There's Ajegunle after Agric. So I was the Ajegunle around Owode.
Okay.
Right, so that was where I grew up. Pretty much rough, to be honest, because we grew up in a house where we had too many people. You know the typical Lagos, face me, I face you.
Yeah.
But we were lucky to have the face me, I don't face you directly kind of house. You know, so you had like your own 2 rooms or 1 room, you know, way back the 90s, the early 2000s. So it was pretty rough. I won't lie to you. The environment was rough. We also saw people who had government scholarships because the older folks at the time were guys working with the government. The lucky ones were the ones working with companies like Legales, like Guinness at the time. So those were the big boys of the economy. They were the ones who could travel to the UK, spend 400 naira to buy flight tickets. Their kids had government scholarships, so there used to be government scholarships for them to travel abroad, especially those that study law, medicine, they would travel. So those people became my anchor, right? Those were the people that I saw and I looked up to, because whenever they come back home, they're a lot different. And me as a young boy in that space, and I'm like, oh, then I can speak like this one day. I could act this way, because suddenly Okechukwu is sounding more finicky.
Composed.
Suddenly Sophia is sounding more educated than I am. So that for me was the anchor. But then life happened, I couldn't get to that level. But then I knew somewhere in my mind that the only thing that could stop me is me. My ability to not dream, my ability to not want more. If I settle, then that's on me. So I ensure that every day I wake up with this mindset that I have to get something, I have to keep going.
So from your early phase, studying, and then before university, deciding to study computer science, I'd love to know what led to that decision to study computer science, and then you leaving school, so now exploring marketing, digital strategy, and ending up, it's a continuous process. Maybe less like 5 years now, you may find yourself doing something maybe slightly different, right? Yeah, what led to that journey and those different phases that has brought you to this point?
So it was really never computer science in the first place. Like I said, it was aeronautical engineering. But that dream was cut short as a child because of life. Environment, life generally. And then, so there's also a thing as collective push and value. So as a child, when you come into a space and you're like, I want to be a doctor, and then you have people that tell you, yes, you will be a doctor. You can't be a doctor. You begin to have that desire to want to be. So for me, it was, I want to be an aeronautic engineer, and then it's like, everywhere's dead silent.
We don't do that yet. We don't have the school for it, or we don't have the money for it.
Nobody even wants to tell you there was a school for it. But growing up, I had to keep researching. I realized that, there's a place in Zaria where you can learn the cost. So I looked at the cost, look at my current reality, where I was, and I'm like, okay, I think I understand why nobody wanted me to pursue this as a goal. So that died. And so my dad is an electrical engineer, solid professional, very good at it, amazing. And I started loving it. I saw the interest. I think my dad was the first person that made me realize how much you need to study as an engineer. My dad has these books from way back the 80s where he was studying in technical school at Sabah, had notes. And in the 2000s, those notes were still as clean and new as it was. My dad is and I read the books, I read about conductors, insulators, I read about things from his book. My dad draws a lot, sketches, he can draw a circuit very well, label it and all of that. So it was interesting to watch my dad. Sometimes I follow him when he goes to set up a full house. He started teaching me about distribution boxes, started teaching me about cables, different MMs, sockets, the different amps, all of those things. I started learning them, how to lay pipes serially, how to ensure that conduit wires are properly laid, how to line the conduit wire all the way to the pipe. Amazing. So I loved it. I wanted to learn that and study it in school. But JAM didn't want me to.
Said no.
I just kept trying, but JAM wasn't letting me do this thing. I would do JAM, get whatever I need to get, go write post UTME, I just won't get it. So I remember that a friend of mine calls me that, Olabisi Onabanjo has their post UTME form out, but he thinks that I should go for computer science because he noticed that they really do not have too many computer science students. So I'm like, what are the odds of this? There's no harm in trying. So I reluctantly wrote the exam. Funny thing, my name came out as number 40, the last name on the list. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's God's way of telling me
Just do
just to
this.
do something else. So computer science started for me while I was in school. It was fun, a bit on the level, okay, with doing the basic math, statistics, maybe a few Fortran here and there. 200 level, we're looking good. But then I began to have conversations with my friends that were not in my school, that were in other private schools like Babcock, Covenant, and Leeds. And they already started telling me how they've left Fortran.
And
They are doing something way better. They started taking CCNA exams. I'm still here doing Fortran, drawing things on the board. But then I looked at it that, okay, let's just keep going. Let's see how this goes for us. So while some of my friends were pursuing other courses outside of school, like learning software engineering, I met a lady in third year who comes to my school and already working at a marketing agency as a brand manager or something. And then she was talking about copywriting and it excited me. So she talked about having to run a campaign for a brand called Gold Circle at the time. So it was 2012. And so she was trying to sketch the idea. So I went to the room and I sketched the condom and have like a part of it torn. And I wrote the copy, not strong enough, abstain. That was the concept. And then I come back to the room and then she's like, nice, this is amazing. Like, how did you come up with this thing? And in my mind, I'm like, this is basic.
yeah, I just thought about
Like
it.
I just went somewhere and
created
thought
something.
about it. And then she's like, that is amazing. Even the way you wrote the copy, all of that. So it then excited me. I wanted to understand this industry. So I started reading about it, understanding the different stratas to marketing. And I understood there was the ATL side, the BTL, the TTL. So I'd always wanted to work in ATL, which is the advertising, so that I could do copywriting. But it felt like while I wanted to, the universe wasn't letting it happen. I remember coming back to Lagos to pursue internship. And I tried as much as possible. Then a friend of mine got me an opportunity to go interview at an agency called Etwadi in Ikeja. I remember going to Etwadi, and while I walked into Etwadi and sat down waiting for the interview, waiting for my turn, I saw other people coming. And I knew that I wasn't going to get the job. I knew I wasn't going to be an intern because they were more informed than I was. They were already practicing. There was a lady that came in. She studied in the UK. She studied marketing as a course. So she's already so good because she's interned in a company in the UK as a copywriter. So coming to Nigeria, she already had the experience.
Yeah, felt like a no-brainer that
Like,
she was too good for the role.
do you understand? Like, why am I here though? Like, I just told myself, like, let me just go in and just hear what they'll say. But I know I wasn't going to get a job. And I got in, and the first question he asked me is, what school did you go to? I knew I can't get this shit. So I said the name of the school. I could see this thing in his face. But I knew that I wasn't experienced enough for the role as an intern.
Yeah,
So I left. I was a bit discouraged, to be honest. I just left. Then I just went back to doing other things and traveled for NYC in Kebbi. So I think when I got to Kebbi, in the north. Now, the north, you don't just throw parties in the north. Especially the kind of parties we throw in Lagos. You can't throw it in the north because there are a lot of things.
Yeah.
People can't smoke, people can't drink, people can't do certain things. So people were not having parties. If you want to club, you have to go to Sokoto to club or go to ABJ. So even if some people were clubbing in Kebbi, it was very
Underground, on the low.
So I spoke to a friend of mine, my best friend at the time, is late now, Balumi. And I told him, I said, let's throw a big party in Kebbi. And then it's like, a big party? How? What do we need to do? I'm like, don't worry. I'll get the contact that will get us pulled all of these things in place. So there's a lady I met. She's friends with someone in government. I got to meet her. We talked. The guy gave us a space in NTA to use, got us NSCDC, soldiers. So we had a party for coppers. We had doctors that came for the party. It was a big party. It's called Music Miss Chow. Myself, Balumi, Bolu, Dapo. Like we had a live band because we couldn't pay for artists to come. So we created an experience using ourselves as the people to sing. So I sing a lot. And I had other people that were involved. It was a massive one, amazing. So I go back to Lagos. And I was trying to get a job. And Toby calls me. I've sent your CV to someone. You have an interview next week. I go there. meet the guy. And the guy said, what excites him about it is the fact that my CV says I threw a party in Kebbi. And I had this number of people in attendance. How did I do it? Because it's enough. And I explained, and it's like, okay, come and work as an account executive. So that was how my journey into marketing started. But not ATL, not advertising, experiential marketing. So that was how I started my journey into it.
Well, like pretty interesting, and a few things that actually stood out for me from what you said is power of people, right? Having like the right people around you that can. Someone sent your CV at some point in time when you had the idea, you had to tell a couple of people that still believe that like it was possible. So power of people, right mindset that can help you achieve your dreams, very important, and also just ideating, starting out something and just getting it done, right? So if you had waited that, you in Kebbi, you wanted the perfect place for PPA, you wanted to do something, that particular stuff you did would have not been on your CV and then you might have not gotten that
Trust me,
opportunity.
and I could have not been in Kebbi. Because when I got to Kebbi and I did my 3 weeks, I wanted to go.
I think I was came back
Like,
to Lagos.
because all my friends in Kebbi were coming back to Lagos. But for some very weird reason, everything I tried didn't work. You know, every time I tried to redeploy, it didn't work. And I looked at it, okay, what's the worst that can happen? So I called my friend. I'm like, Omo, I can't come to Lagos because they're keeping me here. So I remembered I stayed in the barracks in Kebbi. I stayed in Doko barracks. I was staying with a friend of mine called Asuko. He's also a soldier. And while I was in this house, I met a lot of other couples, a lot of people who were also Lagosians. So I think I met the right set of people that could make me realize that we can have the party.
Something.
We can actually do it. So I saw people rally. And I think that's one thing I tell my friends or people that are getting to know me is the fact that your biggest currency sometimes is the people around you. They might not give you physical cash, but they can pull plugs for you.
Yeah.
They know who to call, who to meet, and how to get certain things. Because trust me, I met a girl that got me someone who got me someone that gave me a space, who got me someone that connected me to another person that got me security, who got me someone that got me someone that gave me cash, who got me someone that got me another person.
I can go on and on.
I can go on and on, because left to me, that would not have happened.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of reasons why it should not. I'm a Lagosian, I'm just another guy coming to a state I don't have an idea and I want to throw a party. There are powers that be, you cannot just throw a party because they're scared that there are people, they're going to do drugs, cocaine, codeine, and the like. So, but it happened. That's the power of people.
Interesting, actually. Let's talk about all of the major lessons that you learned, right, over your period in marketing, in activations for brand, in digital strategy. Like lessons that you think that someone that just went straight into product design would not know about. That you think that you picked up from your experience in that place that currently influences your kind of work and how you even relate with clients and even businesses now.
So what experiential marketing did for me is it made me learn corporate world the hard way. So for context, for your agency to stay alive, it needs to have clients. If your agency does not have clients, it will die. So what that means for you is everybody becomes a salesperson. So it taught me that.
Whether you are writing copies or you are designing or you are...
Everybody is a salesperson. Secondly, it made me understand how to think about the user. In products, we call them users. In marketing, we call them target audience. Same people. Now, for instance, let's take a case scenario. There is a brand like Chivita. Chivita is already well known in the market, doing good. So let's assume another brand called Latte that offers the same product spec and type wants to come into the Nigerian market. Now they come to me or to the agency and like, we want to come into the Nigerian market. What do we do? They have no idea because they do not run R&D. They do not have, so they might have the marketing budget. They might not have the resource or they know how to do that. That's why you're a local agency, because you understand the market. So it was my job as an account executive to sit down to understand how to sell this product. So it was me having to work with research people, collect data. How do market women buy Chivita? Why do they buy Chivita?
And no any other drink or...
What do they offer them? Why do I need to go to a co-market and there's one woman with Chivita everywhere and no other brand? Why does she have Chivita branding? Why is the modern market a big deal for businesses? Why do we need to go to the store, maybe somewhere like ShopRite? And when you see a lot of other brands, you see this particular one in front. It's front facing and every other thing at the back. What are they paying? What are they doing extra? Why do you need to go to the mall and then 3 other people are telling you, oh no, buy this product, not this one? Why are they canvassing for this product? Yeah. So this taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to write proposals, because you're writing a proposal that can be 40, 60 pages, because you need to go present to the client and they need to see how you come from an executive, summary to your big bag idea, to how you want to execute it, to the budget, to the post, reports. It was a big deal. So it taught me all of these things. It taught me how to negotiate. It taught me how to trade off. It taught me how to be manipulative as a salesperson, as a marketing person. So I learned all of these things. So coming into design was easy. The only thing I needed to learn in design was design. Every other thing, I had it in me.
So coming from background in CS, at what point did you now feel that I think I want to do something outside marketing? And you already had a background, you had a degree. Typically, computer science students who want to go into development and all of the interesting courses relating to coding. But then why did you pick design?
So I didn't pick design because I wanted to design. Now, mind you, I used to design in school because I was one of those boys that loved CorelDRAW. So I was designing graphic stuff in school. But I stopped doing it because I really never saw it as a big deal. I'm one of those people that never documented, who just do it for the sake of it. Maybe you have friends that had businesses in school, so they want you to help them do flyers quickly, you do it. Or your church has programs, they will tell you, oh, design this for this concert and all of that. So I was doing that, I never documented it. So after school, it just left me. When I got to Kebbi, I did a few design because of my event. Then I had a friend of mine called me Abaka, who also wanted to learn design, and I also would teach him a few things. But it died after that. So marketing took the front face. But what brought me to design wasn't me wanting to design. I used to date someone who wanted me to learn product design when I was in marketing. So she's like, oh, learn UI UX. I can get someone that will teach you. But I'm like, I love my job. Like, why do I need to learn?
A great time in marketing.
And this was 2018. Now, why do I need to learn UI UX design? And she's like, she knows that this thing is going to be a big deal. And she's seen her friends, because she at the time was, but she was a QA at Konga. So it was something that she was seeing. She could tell. But for some weird reasons, I wasn't seeing it as much as she did. But in my spare time, I would go on YouTube and watch videos of that. Unlike now, where there's a lot of videos, then there were not so much. And Figma was just coming in. So I would start practicing with Figma once in a while, make a few mistakes, but it's okay. I didn't care, I was just learning. But that was just basic. In 2020, I was to start a new marketing job. So I left the one I was working on in January, preparing for March.
Resumption.
COVID struck in February. When COVID struck in February, experiential marketing agencies were hit hard. Because experiential marketing is physical experience.
People need to go out, experience, come together.
But now there's COVID.
Stay at home.
A lot of companies shifted their budgets to digital marketing. So digital marketing companies ate so much. So budgets were not going to experiential. Now, that was the period I also was terrible at finance. I didn't save, nothing. I literally was earning to spend. That's because in my mind, I'm like, it's
coming. So they just...
So I will always have money. Life hits me so hard in 2020, I won't lie to you. No house to stay. We had to get a new house, quick notice. So we didn't plan. Me and my friend didn't plan. In August, I was scrolling on LinkedIn. Now, mind you, this is still COVID, still at home. Scrolling on LinkedIn, I think I had about 17 connections, school people. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, LinkedIn, they say they will get jobs on LinkedIn. So let me see if I can get like another marketing job. Sure. And I saw this masterclass guy, and I'm like, oh, masterclass product design. I'm like, this product design. This girl has told me about product design like 2018. So it's in my head, like, and I've done some few things. Let me enter this Zoom class. Let me see what they're talking about. So I entered the Zoom class. So the guy was talking about product design and the benefit. Now, mind you, in 2020, product design went.
Yeah.
Because companies were hiring designers.
Massive spray.
Bro, it was a big deal.
Recently that they are now shedding off the excess.
It was a big deal. Like, designers were earning so good. So the guy was talking about how much people earn, the costs, all of that. So they were going to offer scholarship to learn it. So you don't need to do one test or exam and then you get scholarship. I didn't even have money to pay for the class. But I did it anyway, got in. That was design for me. It wasn't like I chose it. Condition made me come into design. Sapa, it's like Sapa kind of thing, but But at the end of the day, life.
Sapa led direction. And it's also interesting to see that along your journey, I think God also like plays a major role, right? Somehow just leads you to just the right place.
I feel in my life generally, before I take a step into something, somehow somebody I might have said it before. I just didn't pay attention to it, or I shoved it off like it was nothing. But I always find myself in years to come coming into it. It's been a pattern.
Interesting and powerful. Let's now talk about your journey in product design, right? Massive spray of hiring in 2020, 2021. A lot of designers are like, get into tech. UI UX design was like very, very nice and welcoming to everyone. But now towards 2026, a lot of things are starting to change. We don't have that shout any longer. Companies downsized, number of people, especially now with also AI, things that are like changing again, right? But over your journey from just starting product design to now becoming a design leader, leading a team, what was it like? What were strategic decisions that you took that I think that helped fast track your journey from just being a starter to where you are currently?
So I think when I started design, let me take it like it's a milestone for me. I was blessed with one person, Toby Amodi. Toby taught me the foundation of design, product design. When he taught me, I had to intentionally learn design. Why? I'm coming into an industry where there's a lot of young folks with smarter minds and brains that can catch this thing so quick. I just left an industry. Instinct for me is survival. For them, it's passion. When you're passionate about something, you have the zeal. When it's survival, it's stressful, but you have to be committed. So it's painful. So I had to take that pain to learn. So I had to stay late at night, long nights, learning how to design, taking screens from several resource places, duplicating, replicating, sending to him. It's like, oh yeah. And he mentioned something to me one day. He said, if you maintain this level of consistency, you'll be so good. And trust me, I did. I worked hard. My growth in design is exponential, very fast. Unlike many people, my growth is actually very fast. So being consistent and, sort of like putting my hands to the ground. And as I went on the journey, one of the things that I became very intentional about is communicating. I was in every conversation. I tried to be in every conversation. Stakeholders are having conversations with me. I'm talking. I'm giving you my points. I'm giving you a reason why. And I loved it, right? So when I got into another agency, so that was my first, I think that was I'll call it my second design experience, because my first design experience was an internship, which Toby got for me.
Everybody needs a Toby in their life.
So everybody needs a Toby in their life, because trust me, when I was going to run that internship, the owner of the company told Toby that they don't want an intern. Toby was like, no, take him, I will pay him. But let him work with you. He's good. And then like, okay, yeah. I resumed the company. I started working in the company. Then I got a job 1 month after. When I wanted to leave the company, the head of design calls Toby that he should speak to me not to leave. That I'm better than most of his designers. And I'm an intern. Now, I met people that were designers. And Toby said something to me. He said, Michael, you don't know how good you are as an entry guy. But don't go there. Go to the company that just got you. Go and learn something. It's an agency, so they have a lot of things going on.
You will work on different brands, different industries.
Your eye. So I got there, got so good. I started working. 6 months down the line, I got into this venture agency I told you about in San Francisco, and I think that changed my life. Financially, changed my life. Experience-wise, changed my life. I was working with a very radical guy called Malik. Now mind you, Malik is younger than me. I think I'm way old. I'm older than Malik with like 3 years. But Malik chiseled my head as an individual. It taught me how to think. It taught me how to talk to people. It taught me how to be in a meeting and speak, and everybody hears me. Because while I was working with Malik as a designer, there were other designers. We had designers in Pakistan, designers in Indonesia. We had designers in the US that were working in that agency. But Malik liked me as a person. Sometimes Malik jumps into certain meetings and is like, oh, Michael, I need you to have this conversation. I'm coming, I need to have another call. And I'm in that call with a client who is angry. And I have to manage it. I'm a designer, I'm not like the business owner. And then I'm now having to speak like a Malik. Sometimes he calls me up. I needed to have this meeting with these developers in India. So I had to learn how to talk like a technical person, even if I had no technical background. Yes, I studied computer science, but I really wasn't involved. So my journey was great. But I knew for a fact that if I can keep that momentum, leadership is it. Because leadership is not about 100% not about your technical skills. Operationally, yes.
Yeah, you need to know the
your skills,
foundation.
100. But leadership is way beyond skills. A part of it, but it's more around your ability to negotiate. It's more around your ability to carry people along. It's
Sell
more,
the vision.
Yeah, it's also more around the ability to create results collectively. Which is why some people are so good at their job, but as an individual, it's okay. They just want to be an independent contributor. I want to just do my design. I don't want to be in any meeting. I don't want to be talking to you about goals or
Marketing,
I don't want to
design is converting or
not. I don't want to. I just want to
give me the brief. What needs to be done, I'm done. I send it to you. Go and implement.
Those people hardly attain leadership roles because leadership usually is the things that are not within your control. Not every time. Sometimes it requires you to do the hard stuff. It requires you to be available at very odd times, odd hours. It requires you to do certain things outside of the scope of your work. And I was already fit for it. So when I was working at Number, I was working at business banking. It got so good. I had a new head of design join the team. I don't know, amazing guy. I think that this is someone that I would love you to meet. Amazing guy, trust me. I think he's the current head of design at Seamless HR. And he was like, oh, I noticed that the budget for the agency that runs our production for images is a lot. And we would love us to have it in-house. Michael, you have marketing background now. Take this thing. And I'm like, what is this man saying? With this design I'm doing, I should take
another.
And then it's like, it feels like I'm avoiding to do this thing when he knows fully what I can do. Because he knows I've worked in the agency and he knows the agencies I've worked with. So why not just take it on? So I decided to take it on. It sounded stupid, trust me. He didn't even know to the extent of what I can do with this work that he has given to me. I started working on scenarios. I was writing scenarios for production, scenes, clothes, what the model should look like, what they should wear, the location, what the location should look like, the mood, the lighting, what kind of materials they need to have, the POS terminals, which one, what card, photographers, models sourced for the location. On certain locations, we drove together to different locations to
check it out.
have conversations, pay, talk, sign. I talked about NDAs, the SLAs with the models, got to legal, had legal to sign up, bring up a document, sent to everyone to sign to ensure that we're already, on the same page. We did all of this in a month. Powered the shoot in 3 weeks. And we had over 100 images to work with. When we brought this project back to the company, our bosses were amazed. They were amazed at it.
And that must have, you would have done all those things like at a more lower
Cheaper
fraction
rate.
to what the outside
When I
business would
mean
have done.
cheaper rate. And I think that was what got me my first promotion at number.
Results. You mentioned results.
That was what got me my promotion. So it wasn't design. Because, design could have. Yeah. But I did something that was outside of design that had crazy impact to the company in terms of revenue. So the conversations around promotion went easy because it was a matter of fact and figure. I got it. Since then, that's been my playbook. Result, fact, data. I'll give it to you. I don't talk too much. I'm not like, I designed 42 screens. That's not it. So, design for me, the journey has been amazing.
There's actually so much to unpack from everything you've said, which I think that a lot of designers, maybe early in their career or middle level, can pick from what you said, especially if you desire leadership positions.
Hi there, I know you're enjoying this episode, but we need you to do something. Please double check if you've subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, click on the subscribe button, like, share, and most importantly, leave a comment. Tell us what you found very insightful, very valuable from this episode so far, or by the time you complete the entire video. Please do that right now. That is one way that it can help us to continue to keep the lights on. Please do that. You can get right back into the video.
From leadership positions to maybe executive leadership positions now in companies, do you think there is still a clear path, or would you still follow this playbook? So let me explain a bit more. So I've seen designers work in companies where some of them will get to maybe team lead, design lead, but after sometimes they just need to, you just see them either leave the company. Sometimes they go on to start, maybe come up with their own startup, a new product, or some of them will just go and start their own thing, maybe agency. But like in Africa or Nigeria, I'm not sure we have so much of designers just rising through the rank and then coming into executive leadership positions where they're not speaking about even primarily design any longer. They're talking about things that are affecting the business. They have major say or major stake even in the business. Do you think that in Nigeria, in Africa, our current startups or company, is there a clear path, or would you still follow this your playbook beyond, for you to go beyond just design to executive roles?
So I think for me, it's a matter of where I work, which I think it should be for everybody. Now, also understand that one of the reasons why people might pivot a bit from where they are to some other industry or some other career phase might not necessarily be that there's no clear path. It could also be that at the moment, they're more on the financial side of it. They want to earn more. And where they are won't give them that. Because they've seen it. Now, there are people who have also worked in industries where they've grown the ladder. For instance, Ted at Flutterwave grew to VP. There's a guy called Fisayo at Carrywise. Is now a VP. He's been there for a while. Now, those are two anchors that I think that I've seen who've grown. Ted's left Flutterwave, started Mira went
acquired.
To, Childek as head of products. Now, let's flip it back. The question we should ask ourselves is, the companies in Nigeria how much do they value design to really see that a designer can actually be on the decision board? How much do they think that design contributes to the overall growth of the company, to the extent that they want you to sit down on the table and have conversations around the impact of your work to the revenue? Very few companies. And it doesn't just happen. It takes time. So there are companies that might have acted out of experience, and there are some that are not ready to take the risk. I work in a company where there's a clear path spelled out, the structure. To get here is this. If you think that whilst you're working as, for example, a designer, and you've gotten to a deputy manager, and you think that a different route in the company excites you, and you think it will get you here faster, communicate. If you talk to the chief of staff, talk to the hiring manager, talk to your manager, they will guide you through the path. And then you switch. And then you get there. So nobody's telling you that he has to be a designer all the way. Right? But for me, I already know that as a designer at where I am, I can get to that place. Because it is laid down. I know what to do. I know what they demand of me. When I have my review sessions with my manager, this is what we've achieved. This is what we've done. For 3 quarters, this is what we've been able to do. So I feel, and I know that I can actually get there. But if for any reason, right, I'm unable to get to that executive leadership position, I would love to ask why. Because when I ask why, I'm able to understand better what I need to do. I'm able to understand better if it's an appreciation issue. Because sometimes you work in an industry or you work in a company where people limit your role to this particular position. It can't go beyond that. Because when they look at the impact of whatever you're doing, they don't see it at an exec level. Because for some people, to be on the exec level, it means that you're bringing in clients. To some companies. Revenue. It's not just about you saying that your design indirectly contributed. No, it's what's the direct contribution of your work. So that's why half the time, for some companies, you see that the people on the executive level are guys that are bringing in the huge sum, the revenue, the clients, the big partnerships. So that's why you see people like compliance, risk. That's why you see people like sales. You see people like business development. You see people like marketing. You see people like treasury. Those are the guys that would usually typically sit there. Design, max, head of design, and you'll be there for a while. IS will be increasing your salary. But to get you to that point where you're like VP design, most companies that I've seen rather go and get someone from outside.
To fill.
Which is a typical playbook. But I feel for anyone who's looking at leadership, I think it's also very important to note that wherever you work has a huge role to play in how you get to that position. It's very, very key to know that wherever you work.
If that structure and that system is not there, it might be
there's
very
nothing
difficult.
you will do. Yes, you'll be playing politics that will later burn you. Maybe they'll just let you go.
Let's talk to young designers. Maybe before you attained leadership roles, right? How were you able to sell your impact? You know, sometimes you are at certain roles where maybe you're not really interfacing with clients. You're not even able to ask the client that, oh, this new website you did for you, this new product, how much is it converting? Or maybe you're in a company or agency where you're working on websites where it's not like a product that maybe, the new feature we designed for this company help them generate this amount of revenue. How do you try to measure your impact such that you can sell it to not just your boss? You can put it out there, maybe on LinkedIn, or you can use it to apply for stuff around. Maybe, what would you say?
I work in B2B, so which means that half the time I might never interface with the client. Because usually it's partnership sales revenue that does that. But a lot of times I interface with the people that interface with the client. So I always ask questions. And I'm opportune to be part of the decision makers when it comes to how the product is used and how it's perceived by the people that use it. So I'm privileged to ask questions. This thing we worked on, how is it going? I remember when we worked on our new onboarding, I could tell that it had crazy impact on the CSMs, the people who sort of onboard clients. It made their life easy. They could go through onboarding without having to ask questions. Oh, what do I do here? It was super explanatory. So that in itself informed me that our drop-off rate reduced. And the churn rate also reduced. We had people that could go and finish on the onboarding quickly, right? The same thing with how people use the platform in terms of understanding the hierarchy of the features. When you go into a feature, how you're able to navigate between the call to action buttons to the secondary buttons to the tertiary ones. I have first-hand understanding because I ask questions. Most times, young designers do not ask that question. They don't. Or sometimes they feel they don't know who to ask. Or maybe they just don't care. Like I said, some people just want to do their work, and that's it. They just want to design, earn, and they're good. But when you begin to look at growth from a leadership point, you have to be super interested with data, because data is your own ammo. That's your fighting ammo. That's what, when you're in a room, gives you an edge over anyone else in that room.
Over your career journey, you've been very intentional about certifications. What motivates you? What drives you? What is that big picture?
Let me correct something. It's not like I pursue certifications. I don't think I do pursue certifications. I just think that I have this phobia to be left behind. And it's what pushes me a lot. Maybe because I've been burnt in the past, but I always tell myself that I want to be in a room and people are having conversations about a thing, and I want to be able to contribute. I don't want to just be sitting there and...
It further reiterates your desire to always communicate, share.
Do you get, I don't ever want to see you catch me in a place and people are having intellectual conversations and I am not able to discuss with you because I don't have an idea. So it's what pushes me sometimes to take on a few courses. I might not take it to the extreme, but just maybe the foundational courses. For instance, I remember that my ability to understand AML and counterterrorism was because I work at Multigate. And we have a compliance team that is super heavy on ensuring that everybody has an understanding of it. So I know that every year we usually have a professional body come in and teach us about terrorism financing, understanding who politically exposed people are, understanding how transaction monitoring works, a lot of things around compliance and regulation. And then we get certifications after each of those, classes. So it sort of brings me into that place where I have real-time knowledge. And then for finance, I looked at it that, I think what happened one time was I was in a room with my treasurer at work and two other finance people. And they were talking about trading. When people hear trading, they always think trading, the kind of trading where it's like crypto, and that's a part. There's also the part where we're talking about currency pairing, right? Where you're looking at how the currency plays in the market, the up and lows of dollar to naira to dollar, stop rates, the brought forwards. We were having these conversations and it was exciting, but I couldn't contribute. And I'm like, okay, so what do I do? So I spoke to someone and then it's like, oh, now this person I even spoke to, it's not even a finance person, it's a lawyer. But he works in finance as a lawyer. And then it's like, oh, take CFE Foundation. I'm like, how much is it? It's like, oh, $350. I'm like, okay, let me try. So I paid for it, I started taking it. And to be honest, I think my first 3 months sitting down every Saturday and Sunday for 4 hours, I was just seeing things, right? I was learning things. right? And not just even the finance side of it. For instance, there's the ESG, there's the ethics side of finance that he taught, and it made a lot of sense. So half the time, it's not like I'm pursuing certifications because I love it. Half the time, I just want to have knowledge of things that I think will benefit me, maybe now or in the future. So I'm not jumping on every certification. I'm very, very intentional as to what I want to learn. I'm in fintech. I've worked in fintech for like 4 years now. I know that in the next 2 years, I might still be doing this. There's a lot I'm learning.
Yeah.
There's a lot I'm committed to. But I also want to have some level of outside knowledge that also informs me better on what's happening outside of that vicinity. So maybe the next thing I want to learn in finance might be, I don't know. But if it ever happens, I'll get it. Maybe AI in finance. Like now, AI is about to take our jobs.
And then a lot of us are just trying to see what exactly is happening. Almost every 2 market days now, you're seeing new features, new products.
I feel like when it comes to this AI conversation, we're just not being truthful to ourselves. I think a lot of times we just try to.
Yeah.
That way it's not good to. Baba is coming. Wake up today, wake up tomorrow, Claude will draw something. But yeah, AI on the side.
At some point in time along the journey, you started or founded sections, and then you've gone on to create different events, brought designers together. What did you really have in mind? What was the vision? Were there gaps that you saw that made you feel that I think we need to build or have intentional pool or intentional gatherings of designers doing cool stuff to help each other?
So sections wasn't my first community, right? So I co-founded another community with Toby Amadi called Desire People. It's still on. I think we have about 300 plus designers in there. So the idea was to have a community for entry-level folks who need some level of direction, who needs that sense of peer learning. So we founded DYP, and it's grown to where it is now, and it's been amazing. We have people like Benjamin, Jacinta running it now. So myself and Toby are not actively in there. So we've created in such a way that other people can power it without us.
You're active, present.
Exactly. But in 2022-ish, or before I go to 2021, I was working with the studio.
Okay.
And I was working 19 hours a day. 19. Because I was shuffling both that and my Nigerian company. So it was crazy. So I never had time to go out. No connection, just the work. I didn't know anyone, to be honest. I think the only people that I was familiar with were the people that we connected on LinkedIn. But outside of that, I didn't know anyone. And I remember in 2022, I went for UDC. I think 2022 or 2023. I think it was 2023, I went for UDC. And while I was at UDC, because I was invited, I went with my friend. So I was there. I saw people, but I just couldn't mingle. Right. I was just with my friend, and barely an hour, I was like, let's go. And then we left. And my friend was like, Omo, I can't go out with you. I can't go out with you. 1 hour, we're home. Like, that's supposed to be where we're supposed to be. Meet people. And I'm like, it's not, how do I go and meet someone and I'm like, hi, because everyone is just trying to. So I went to work in a place in Opebi and I sat down. I was working. And then I was on Twitter and I saw, Twitter people banter a lot. They fight each other. They've stopped. Maybe they've stopped now. I don't know. But then
they are still there.
It used to be like a big deal. So I was on Twitter and I saw people bunching each other and I'm like, half the time people are supposed to help each other grow. Like, there's really no need in having to drag someone overwork or something. There's such a way, there's how we can have cordial relationship and conversations. So I realized that when I got into this intermediary role at the time, one, I didn't have connection. Two, I didn't know who to meet to actually learn new stuffs, because I was worried and a bit scared that if I reach out to this person now, they'll be saying, you will be, now. Do you understand? You know, people can be funny. This guy that's a... So in my mind, I'm like, if I'm like that, then there's a lot of other people like me. So I remember speaking to Alex, just a friend of mine called Alex Oyebadi. And we got talking and I'm like, Alex, this is like, you know, go bad. And the way I am is when I have an idea, I fly with it so quick. I don't
execute fast.
Like quick. I don't know how to. So I'm like, okay, let's test run it. So I put up the first section in June. Where I was working, I went to meet the owner. I'm like, oh, I like your space. I want to have an event here, a small gathering. And then she's like, you have to pay. I'm like, no, I won't pay. But I'll get people here at a particular time. They will buy stuffs worth more than the amount you want me to pay. And then she's like, okay, we signed it.
That's your negotiation skills now.
So she was okay with it. I knew, so I calculated it. How many people do I need inside this space to buy things to this cost?
That what?
To get this. And I'm like, okay, I need 30 people. So I started it. Our first section event, we had more than 30 people. No, baby. Amazing, fun. It was great. I saw people like happy to be here, excited.
To meet other people, to connect.
I saw people playing. We played cup game. It was amazing. I'm like, oh, nice. So this is actually a problem. Let's do this. So we kept doing it on and on, built the community around Slack. But I knew that I needed to make the community exclusive so that people understand how important it is to be here and not...
They know the value.
They know the value and not take it for granted. I don't want people to come in and then it's a rowdy space. It's people that understand why they need to be here, because to join sections, you need to apply to sections. We look through your application, check a lot of other places, and then onboard you and get you into the community. So it was fun. And then we went on, we realized that another problem that a lot of people had was people wanted to upskill. They just didn't know how. So we started doing this peer learning thing where you can just throw your questions out there. People give you responses. Resources are there. If you need to have one-on-ones with anyone, send them a message. They'll let you. They will introduce the virtual sessions. We started having virtual sessions with people in and out. It was amazing. Learning was amazing. I remembered one time we had a meetup at Erikesa in VI where we brought our laptops. And then we had 2 projects, we worked on it together. So what I wanted to do, or what I'm doing with the community, is to build connection, a place where people can learn, and a place where we can thrive together. So that's section. And we're doing it here in Nigeria, and then we're also doing it in the UK. So trust me, good.
That's very, very beautiful and very, very impactful, right? And it showed from how people responded. They have spent a lot of time, everybody isolated in their homes, in their apartments, about having to see people that are designers like you facing the similar challenges or similar successes like you. You have someone you can like bounce stuffs with, right? Community is very beautiful, but sustainability can be very hard.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. So how are you managing? What has it even costed you? Like you spoke about your first event, you were able to negotiate. I'm sure you had other events like that. Not everybody will take negotiations. So then you have to pay, bring guests, bring people and all of that. It can cost a lot, right? So how have you like managed it? How are you trying to ensure sustainability in terms of maybe fundraising, managing a team, and trying to make sure that the community is alive and still achieving its purpose?
So when I started sections, I didn't have a team. Right. I had friends who could help, but I didn't have like a structured team. So it was, when Alex was still in Nigeria, I had Alex, I had my friend Bani, then there was Samuel, I had Bolu. Bolu came along the way, amazing person. And there are places that we'll have to go to that I have to pay upfront. So even if people are going to buy stuff, sometimes I already know that they might not buy to the tune of what those people are requesting for.
Yeah.
But I have to pay upfront. Or in most cases, I have to buy things for people to ensure that
We cover.
I'm covered for the cost. These sacrifices. I remembered when I had my first design spin-off event. And so Bolu asked me, so we're going to use a location in Ikoyi. So Bolu asked me like, how do we cover the costs? And I'm like, it will be hard to get sponsorship because it's our first and it's a small community. It's not like UDC that has like numbers where if I was running a community with numbers, trust me, sponsorship for me will be easy because I know how to create the proposal. I know how to tell that story and I know how to connect it to companies. But it's not. It's a small community because I realized that people thrive more in smaller units. So I wanted to keep it as that. So when we went to the event, I knew sponsorship won't come. Even if it was going to come, it has to be someone that just loves you a lot to want to pull in. So
Not like they want to get something.
yeah, it was
they
just
like support.
Support, yeah. And I remember that my company, Multigate, gave me money at the time. Just it was a support money, so it wasn't sufficient for what I needed. But I knew I needed to go deep into my pocket. And when I mean deep, I don't mean like small deep. I mean
Big deep.
like 2 point something million deep. It was a huge money. But I wanted to just create something that people will love, that people can come for, people can be excited to be there. And I did it. And I remember someone asking me like, oh, why didn't you make this event paid? And I'm like, I don't want it to be paid. I want people to come in their truest form, feel comfortable, feel relaxed, and have the best that they can get out of this. And when they go, they can have good things to say about it and have real-time impact. So we had the first. We couldn't do the second one because I didn't have money to pull for it. And so when I was going to do the third one, I'd written everything. I'm like, I sent proposal, but there was no feedback. Because like I said, number. People don't, when they look at number, they're like, what's the output? What are we getting for it? So if, for instance, I send it to a money point, for instance, typically, if I had a huge number, I could tie that number to one of their products or one of their feature that they're building and might be out at the time we're having the event. So I could tell them, come run beta testing with my crowd. Right? Run beta testing, get feedbacks from them. That's an advantage to you because it's something that you might spend some money to do. I could as well say, at the end of the day, you have access to our audience list for marketing purposes. That's one thing people also will do, but it's a small number. It won't work that way for me. So I realized that I had to spend to get people to experience what sections had to offer. But then I also am lucky enough to have some community people who always are invested financially too. So I feel like that's why I love sections, to be honest. And that's why I cannot shut sections down because it's not about me anymore.
Yeah.
Trust me, I don't think I've been involved in sections in the past 1 year, but it's been running. There's been people who've been powering it. I have James in the UK, there's Erastus, there's Mercy, there's Samuel in the UK powering. The UK guys have gone for like 2 vacations, one in Wales, one in Albania. They've done a few other events. Nigeria we've done. We had spin-off last year. It was amazing. Trust me, I think it was beautiful last year. So when I walked in and I saw like the setup, I'm like, God.
We did this.
We did this, and thank God for Multigate, my company. They were like very instrumental in making that one happen, right? But it cost a lot to set up a community. It cost a lot to keep it going, right? Some people are opportune to have a community, like I said, with numbers, and then you have people who are interested in putting the money in. But for small communities, it's harder. Half the time, you most likely be powering it yourself. And then you have like your folks who are able to understand and put in their money.
These are like the areas that people don't see. We see the pictures, we see how beautiful a community looks like, we look at the impact, right? But then it takes a lot to actually start and then like keep it going.
Trust me, it takes more than even money. I wanted to work with a designer and I needed him to do something for us. Now, I knew he would charge me. To be honest, I knew that he was going to charge me. So I sat down at home and I'm like, okay, what can I do? How do I spin this? So I called him. I'm like, I can't pay you. Do this for us. I will get you a gig that will pay you more than us. And the guy was like, hey, I'm like, just do it. Got so good, the guy took on the job, did it for us. Got so good, one lady called me, she's like, someone I appreciate a lot. And then she's like, oh, she has a client in the US that wants to build a brand for a solar company in Africa. I'm like, I know the right person.
Okay.
I called the guy, I connected him. The guy calls me. For that period, he was working on the project, he was calling me every day. Bro, thank you. Bro, thank you, you know? And then, because whatever he's making, whatever he could have charged me, is not even up to quarter of what he was earning from them. So sometimes that's how I sort of, I'm able to manage
Get things done.
and get things done to run the community.
I'm just trying to put myself in the position of that designer. I know my dad is looking at the money he's making from that job.
Do you get so?
Michael, take.
Do you get so? It's someone that when I call him many times, it's like, yeah,
What's up? And that's like also the power of further reiterates the power of communities and also knowing strategic timings, right? I know designers or just people randomly, you can't do everything for free for everyone, but then there's some certain people that you just know certain timing. Sometimes it might just be that you know through intuition that, oh, this is what I should do, because the guy just said to do that project for you and then look at the big opportunity that comes after it. I'm sure you say have great ambitions, but to an extent, people will still look at you and say, oh, that guy's so successful to a large extent. I know.
What I thought. Before I got to say what I was supposed to say.
Right? Yeah, again. But we're at different phases, right? Yeah. Our current phase is still someone else's dream.
True.
But in the journey to this very point, what are the things that you've had to let go, or things that you've had to sacrifice to get you where you are?
Time. I had to sacrifice time. I feel like working in design has made me put my head to the ground more. I stopped being social. Even if it's hard to tell that I'm not social, because I talk, I play. So you
see
think
some
that
friends around you.
Yeah, so you think that I'm the kind of guy that goes to the club, For the past 4 years, I only went to the club once. And that was like this December when I went to Voyage. I got to Voyage and the music was playing so loud and I couldn't stay for an hour and I left.
Strange.
That's to tell you how terrible it is. So time, because I've had to dedicate time to learning. I learn every day, my bro. Like, I'm always working, I'm always designing, I'm always building. Like I said, fear of being left out.
Maybe.
So I'm always sacrificing time. Secondly, I've had to learn humility as a designer, to sit with people, both younger sets of people, older, sit down, ask questions. Trust me, I don't know. If you are younger than me, I don't care. I can come to your house and sit down and ask you to teach me, walk me through stuff. Right. I do it a couple of times with a few of my friends who are younger. And I'll go to your house, sit with you, we eat. I'll open my laptop, show you stuff. You tell me, oh no, don't do this way. You could have done it this way. So it's taught me humility. I've sat down with my bosses just to understand how, they think, how they thought about the business, what they're doing, to learn. So it's taught me humility. And I think another thing that it's taught me is, or that I've had to also, maybe one thing I've also had to let go, like I said, my pride, time. And I think another thing I've had to let go is socialization. I'm terrible at keeping friends now. So the few friends I have, I'm always holding them tight. But I don't think I've made any new friend in a few years.
I think that's one thing with adulthood. So coupled with the kind of work that you also do,
Yeah, so
it's more difficult.
making friends is hard now for me, because the moment you start talking, I already know that it will not go far. Me, I can't call you. If you chat me, I might look at the chat. I know that if I start chatting with you, you want us to talk for long.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not indulge.
Yes,
I just let it be. So hard to sacrifice friendship too.
If you look back your journey, right, is there any particular maybe mistake that you tried to, or that you want to advise a very young designer just starting out in their career to avoid?
Oh yeah, when you start making some money, don't get carried away.
Don't blow it.
I feel like my wife always she hunts me with it, like, you used to be billionaire. Anytime she wants to just mess with my mind. So it used to be. So I feel like it's one thing that I always tell people: don't get carried away. The moment you start making that money, the first thing you should think about is, if I lose everything, how much runway do I have? Like, that should be like at the back of your head. For me, I made that mistake in 2021. No, God. I made that mistake. And I don't think I want to ever make it again. And I always say, like, God, I know you're testing me now. That's why you don't want to give me money. You're angry at me. But God, just test me with 10 billion. See how prudent I will be.
Okay.
So that's one thing I would tell people: financially plan. Don't get carried away. And I think the second thing is, if there's anything that I would want to change, or if I had to, I think it's to try new things. Imagine I started designing in 2018 when the lady had told me about it. Imagine I learned it early. Imagine I didn't, and I think that's where pride also comes in play. Maybe I felt like she wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. I think I'm good where I am.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
ready to
why do
try
you think that
something.
you tell me?
What to do?
So, or maybe I was just afraid to try something new. Maybe I was just afraid of the uncertainty. And I think I still am. I still am at that point too, because there's some things I should try already, but there's the fear of, what if I now
Will
go
it be
and-
like a waste of time?
yeah, or what if I tried and it doesn't, too many what ifs stops you from trying and actually seeing what comes out of it in. So try new things. I think I would love to try new things.
There's been so much you said. Yeah, I know that our listeners would have been able to pick something, even practical stuff that they can implement.
Yeah.
20 years from now, right? What kind of impact do you hope that your work, whether as a designer, working in fintech, or even as a community builder, what kind of impact do you hope that your work would have been able to do or make in the African or Nigerian, maybe tech startup space?
I think for me, it's in 20 years from now. I think 20 years is even far, because in 20 years, I don't want to be in design. I want to be somewhere, have my house in the middle of a farm, a big farm, have like cocoa plants around me, have palm kernel plants, have my 2 Tacoma trucks, my 1 Ferrari, and a Porsche Cayenne.
You're not moving pixels and changing color.
No, just there in my, my family, and I can fly when I want to. That's my life in 20 years, and I am able to put in money in different hospitality businesses. Yeah, not design. But let's say in 10 years, or let's even say in 5.
Right.
The goal is, the impact I want to make is such that I've been able to build a network where everybody is bothered about everybody. How? Such that because of sections, when I get into a company and I hear of an opportunity, I'm able to get you to apply. Because 1, I understand your skill, I understand your competence, and I trust that you can deliver. Because that's what sections is about. Now, from my work standpoint is that the companies that I have worked with have grown to become extraordinarily great. They've grown exponentially. The growth for them has been super amazing because of the impact of the work I've done or I've made working with them. And then lastly, personally, is the fact that everyone that have come across me has a part of me in them that they will never let go.
What a beautiful way to wrap up this conversation today. It's been very, very insightful. Anything you would love to leave our audience with for the final?
So the world is changing. Things are happening. I would have said the world is moving fast, but I think the world is moving faster, right? And a lot of us might keep playing catch up. Some of us might still be in denial. And some of us might be moving as fast as it is. But you just need to tell yourself where in these three phases you want to be. Another thing is, do not stop pursuing. Like, do not stop. Constantly pursue. Don't ever get comfortable. Comfort kills. It kills so much that it leaves you at a spot and you think you're enjoying everything, but what's happening is like sometimes life is moving away from you. And then by the time you realize it, it might be too late because you never brought yourself into the place where you can learn
new things and move forward.
Do something better, do something new, do something great, pursue something because you got too comfortable, right? So just don't stop pursuing.
Even if it's just 1% better every day, it compounds.
If it's one screen, if it's one, just move 1 inch away from where you are.
And you never know where you eventually get to. Exactly. It's been a very, very insightful conversation. I've enjoyed it. I've learned quite a lot, and I'm sure that you've also enjoyed it. And then you found this episode valuable. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. It's been amazing having you around.
Thank you so much.
Maybe in the next 5, 10 years, or 20 years, when you're at your ranch, we'll come have a conversation with you.
Oh yeah, come on. I'll give you cocoa too, you know. No, it's going to be amazing.
Thanks, I enjoy. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, for listening, whether it's on Spotify or any of your favorite audio listening platforms or YouTube. Thank you so much. We continue to bring top and amazing people doing cool stuff to inspire you, to let you know that, you can do great things for small places. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace out.
Thank you so much.